guest. We have Mike Flynn, and we are going to be talking with him a little bit about the March of Dimes today. Thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So for any of our viewers who may not be familiar with the March of Dimes, can you tell us a little bit about what it is?
Well, absolutely. You know, the March of Dimes is an organization that's been around a long time. It really, its mission is to help babies, basically, from conception, mothers during pregnancy, through birth and through early childhood. And you know, it's obviously something that is near and dear to my family and to really a lot of people in the athletics department where I work over at Appalachian State, and that's why we're really proud to be involved with the organization.
Awesome. Now tell us a little bit about your personal story and how you got involved with the March of
Sure,
Dimes.
absolutely. In 2007, my wife was expecting our first child, and due to some medical conditions that my wife wound up having during pregnancy, or that were exacerbated during pregnancy, our daughter was born 9.5 weeks early. She was rushed down to, or my wife was rushed down to Winston-Salem to Forsyth because they have a NICU, a neonatal intensive care unit, that we don't have available here in Boone. After 67 hours of labor, our daughter was born, and you know, she was only about 3 pounds when she was born. Had a little bit of trouble breathing at first, and wound up having to be in the neonatal intensive care unit for a month down in Winston-Salem. And you know, she's had a few health issues in the early going of her life, but we firmly believe that if it wasn't for the March of Dimes and the things that they've done over the years with research and funding for doctors and technology and all the things that they fund, that our daughter wouldn't be with us today. And she's now almost 7 years old and as healthy as can be. And you know, it's amazing. Just yesterday, we pulled up a picture of her when she was about an hour old, and said, "Kellen, do you know who that is?" And she said, "No." I said, "Well, that's you." And my wife's hand is next to her, and my wife's hand is almost the size of her entire body. And so, you know, just like I said, because of that, we right away wanted to get involved with March of Dimes. The folks down at the hospital at Forsyth told us about the March of Dimes, and obviously we became very interested. And then coming back up here, we found out that my boss, our athletics director at Appalachian State, Charlie Cobb, both of his children were born premature. So with all of that, really a lot to do with Lindsay Cobb, Charlie's wife, the entire athletics department got involved with the March of Dimes, and we were just so happy and so proud to be able to be involved, and have been for several years now.
That's great. And you know, research is great, and that's what these funds go to, is for the research of it. So now, what is the process if somebody needs something like that? How does that work?
Well, really, from our standpoint, which is all that I can really talk for, we never had to request anything or anything like that. We just know that so much of the funding behind it is what that makes the technology and everything available in the hospital. So, okay, the people at Forsyth, I mean, I can't say enough about the people down there, and the funding that they receive from the March of Dimes, not just from the research standpoint, but the actual funding for technology and for medical personnel in the NICU is unbelievable. And like I said, without it, you know, I don't even want to think of what would have happened not only to our daughter, but to, you know, millions and millions of kids in the United States every year. You know, I think that that if people haven't been in an EQ before, I think that that's someplace that everybody should be once in their life. And if you can walk in and out of an EQ and not want to just spare even just a little bit of change for the March of Dimes, then I just can't believe that.
Right.
Absolutely. It sounds like a great cause. Now, what are some of the ways that people can get involved with the March of Dimes?
Absolutely. You know, the one big thing, the fundraiser that Appalachian State Athletics has been involved with up here in the High Country, along with many, many organizations in the High Country, is the annual March for Babies, which is the March of Dimes' big national annual fundraiser, and local communities have their own marches involved. And like I said, Appalachian State Athletics has been involved with that for the last several years. The scope of the March of Babies in the High Country has changed. It used to be held in the spring. Just because of logistical reasons, it got moved to the fall. Last year it was as part of a home football Saturday, which worked out really well, brought a lot of excitement and a lot of funds to the organization. From what I understand, those details are still being finalized by the Regional March of Dimes, basically as we speak right now. So those details haven't been finalized yet for this fall, but when they are finalized, you'll see information all around town. If you go to the Appalachian State Athletics website, which is appstatesports.com, we'll have information because of our involvement with that. And if you're not local right here to the High Country, really the March for Babies around the country are starting now. A lot of them are held in the spring. So if you go to the March of Dimes website, Google the March of Dimes website and look up March for Babies, even if you want to sponsor walkers in other areas, you can absolutely do that at March of Dimes website.
Fantastic. Well, what can you tell us about last year's event here in the High Country and why people should be excited to participate this year?
Like I said, last year it was involved, or it was as part of a home football Saturday, which obviously brings a lot of excitement to the area as it on its own, and to be able to have that event in conjunction with it. One of the big things that we've tried to do up here is make it a full family event. A lot of places, and this is great, and we've done this here as well, it's just a walk where it brings a lot of awareness. It's almost like a parade. And we found that up here that didn't work necessarily perfectly, just because there's so many families involved. And I know the first year that we did it, and Kellen was still an infant, even just pushing her in the stroller, she started to get antsy after a while. Right. So what we've tried to do up here is incorporate a lot of family events with face painting and inflatable rides and things like that. So it's not just marching in a circle. There's still part of that for the awareness standpoint, and because quite frankly it's a lot of fun, but then it's more of a carnival atmosphere. And like I said, the details aren't finalized yet for 2014, but I assume that a lot of those same elements that we've done in the past several years will be incorporated again for this year's event.
Great. So it sounds like it's growing every year.
Absolutely. The folks from the regional March of Dimes have done an awesome job, and really the community, the High Country community, has really embraced it, which we're so proud to be a part of at Appalachian State Athletics, but we're just a small part of it. Many organizations and individuals in the High Country have really embraced it, and I feel like the funds that are raised here and the awareness of the organization here has been something that's been really beneficial for the March of Dimes.
That's wonderful.
Definitely.
It's a great cause.
And having gone through this personally, you must really understand all of the benefits of this program.
Absolutely. Like I said, just seeing in the NICU, the technology is just unbelievable. The training of the staff is unbelievable. The research that's been done just to be able to realize the problems are associated with premature birth and other birth defects, and to be able to get babies through that and their mothers through that. Seeing it up close and personal is just something that will always be something very important to our family.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming in to talk with us
Absolutely.
today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, and we will keep you guys updated as more information is released about this year's March for Babies, and we will be back right after these messages with more of the Mountain Television Network.